trade setup of the week, the AUD CAD. So let's look at what's going on in this market. So right here, you're looking at January, February, March, April, May, June, July. This is the monthly time frame. So each one of these candles are worth 1 month of price data. Okay. So we bottomed out. We made a low for the year around February, and then ever since then, it's been slowly pushing up, right? So we can expect some type of retracement, but I still believe ultimately price wants to end up around this area right now. Okay, so there's still an opportunity to make at least like about 200, maybe from 200 to 330 pips before you see like a actual trend reversal. Now you may get some pullback action going, but price ultimately, I believe it wants to go higher. So maybe you can get between 200 and 400 pips out of this trade by just being patient and staying in this position, right? But if you're not in the position already, if you haven't bought this already, let's see how can we get into this trade, okay? So we know from the monthly that price is going up, so our bias is ultimately to the upside. So let's go down to the weekly time frame. Let's see what's going on the weekly. And again, price bottomed out here. Well, price bottomed out here for the year. It bottomed out here, and now price is continuing to move up. Now, on the weekly time frame, you're at it. You closed last week above this level right here of resistance, but price may still pull back, coming into the next week. So it may pull back a little bit. So you may want to wait till you get like a pullback and then continue to purchase this, get a new setup and purchase this to the upside. But this looks like a strong position to take and just hold it until you ultimately hit your take profit. Now let's go down to the daily to see when can we expect to get into this trade. Okay. Now we're looking at this is the month of July, this is June, this is May, and this is April. This is what took place in April. So April, okay, of course, the price retested the yearly low, and it took off, right? Now, if you notice something about these candles, they had a strong move to the upside, but then this candle work started getting choppy, right? The candles wasn't as powerful, they weren't as big, and really we consolidated out from May, June, up until now this new push in July. So that's what I mean by sometimes, guys, you got to be patient when you holding these types of trades. This is more like this is definitely a position trade that you're going to be holding for weeks, if not a couple months. So you got to be really patient when you're taking these types of trades. So you want to risk no more than a couple percent of your account, and then just wait for it, right? How they say wait for it. You just want to wait for it. But as long as you're in, like I always preach, as long as you're in the dominant direction of the market, as long as you're not over leveraging your account and your stop loss placement is at a place where the market clearly tells you that you're wrong, not just because you're being whipsawed out of the position, you should be able to hold this trade and just simply forget about it. Even if the position hits your stop loss, you're only going to lose. You shouldn't lose any more than 2% of your account. So on the daily time frame, we see price consolidated right here, and then it began to break out. So now we're in the breakout phase. Now, is this a false breakout? We really don't know, right? We want to be patient because we want to wait for a setup. We don't sometimes, I do a lot of breakout trading, but with my breakout trading, I'm always I always have in the back of my mind, even though I'm taking a breakout trade, even if this is a false breakout and it pulls back down, my stop loss is at a spot where as to if I'm wrong in the trade, it clearly lets me know that I'm wrong. So for instance, if I took this breakout right here, my stop wouldn't be behind this level here because price could come back and retest this level and still, move back to the upside. What I'm saying is when I take a breakout, I believe price wants to go higher than these candles here, right? So what would tell me that I'm wrong in my position? If price begins to trend lower than these candles. That's the only way I can, if it comes back into the same level with these candles, it doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It just means price is having a pullback. So price has to come back and clearly take out these candles here. It begins to trend down for me. So this is the level. And if I took a breakout here, my stop would be back here. Because I don't want price to come back and just tap this level and take me out. So if it comes back down here, then I'm clearly wrong. So my stop would be here, but still, no matter if my stop was 143 pips or 250 pips or even 300 pips, it's going to equal 2% of my account. You know, so that's you have to think about things like that when you're trading, because your job as a trader is at first you always have to worry about the risk. You're a risk manager, right? So the first thing you want to think about when you're taking your trades is, what is your risk? How much are you willing to lose? And you want to limit your risk. You don't want to think about the profits as of yet, because if you limit your risk and you're not, taking huge losses, and your stops begin to make sense where you're going to put them, then ultimately you're going to become a trader. Because listen, every trading strategy works. It's just that the person that's trading the strategy, do you work for that strategy? So ultimately, if you're trading a good strategy, you're gonna ultimately be profitable as long as you're limiting your risk and you're placing your stops where it makes sense. Not just because I should place it behind this level. That doesn't really make sense. Okay. Okay. Nevertheless, so we have a breakout here. Now we don't know if this price is going to go back, but we're going to just assume price at some point, even if it retraces, it still wants to break out to the upside. And my TP is always going to be the next level of resistance. So now let's see where we can possibly enter into this trade. So that's how we're looking on the daily. The daily, the weekly, we take signals from the daily, but with this trade, we're gonna, we want to just get a confirmation from the monthly, weekly, and daily, and then we want to look for entries on the 4-hour. Okay. So why do I say we look for entries on the 4-hour time frame? Because the 4-hour time frame is an intraday time frame, meaning the movements that take place on the 4-hour, they happen within the 24-hour period. It's going to be 6 candles you're going to get, 6 candles within one day, right? You're going to get on this 4-hour chart. So what do we want to do? We want to wait for a good setup. We want to wait for a pullback, because we've already missed the breakout, right? It's too late to hop on the breakout right now. So what we want to do is wait for a good pullback into this level right here, maybe a little bit lower, and then we want to look for an entry to the upside. Once my oscillators begin to turn over and show me that the momentum is going back to the upside, ultimately showing the buyers are back. The buyers are back. Now, of course, we want to kind of gauge the candles, the type of candlesticks as well. I know if I get big red candles, the sellers are strong. So I may want to wait. I may want to wait and see if I get a good thrust again from the buyers, like a good move to the upside. Because if I get big red candles, I mean the sellers are here, they're up, they're awake, and they want to push this price back down. But if I get little candles like this, it's a simple retracement. The sellers are here, but they're not as strong. They're not as strong as the buyers, right? And this could be just some unloading on profit, right? This just could be buyers closing their position, taking their profits, which is ultimately causing the price to fall down. Because once you close a buy position, essentially you're turn into a sell, right? So ultimately you can't get a retracement. So I want to pay attention to the types of candles that I'm getting, and then I want to wait till my momentum moves back to the upside and look to get into this trade, okay? I already got my stop loss where I want to place my stop. I already know. Even if, price, let's say for instance, price comes down here, I know I want to place my stops behind this level right here. I want to place my stops behind this level. So I'm looking at like 160, depending on how far price comes down. If price comes down to here, then I'm looking for a stop loss of, 140. But where do I want to go? I know no matter what, I want to go up here. I want to go up to like, potentially, about 350 to 400 pips. Right, that's what I want to get out of this trade. So this is the type of trade you want to, we're going to have to hold this trade, because let's see how when the price is moving, price may only move up. Let's take this position right here. So on this one, price moved up 135 pips for that week. Remember, on the 4-hour time frame from line to line is 1 week. So on this move, price moved up 140 pips. So if we, once we get into the trade and price continues to move again, price might get up here and want to consolidate some more. So you have to be prepared to hold this trade. But once we get into the trade and we realize price wants to move again, it may take us, a couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks for us to hit this TP. So you got to be patient. You got to be patient when you're taking the trade like this. But I just wanted to show you guys that and break down how I look at the market. But it looks like it's going to be probably a good setup. I know I'm going to take this trade if price pulls back. If price pulls back into this level, I'm going to go ahead and buy. and buy this position. My stops is going to be back here, and if I don't get stopped out, you know, we hit take profit. Why is my take profit here? Let's go back and see. Bam, because that's the next level of resistance. That's the next level of resistance. So I just wanted to explain that to you guys. Hopefully you learned something from this video. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment if you have a different thought about this pair, or if you have any questions regarding the way that I trade. Leave a comment. Appreciate you. Have a good day.